I'm at a little bit different angle today because I have to use my trusty KitchenAid mixer for this beautiful iced gingerbread oatmeal cookie recipe. These are a favorite at Thanksgiving and Christmas time. They do take 2 steps, so you have to mix the dough together and you have to let it sit in the refrigerator for 45 minutes before you can bake the cookies. So we're going to do this in 2 steps, so I've got you facing a little bit different direction. And we're going to go ahead and get started. So definitely try, if you have a hand mixer, use your hand mixer. Because you need to beat the first part of it for 2 minutes or you're going to have a sore arm. So you need 2 cups of old-fashioned oats. Now we're making the base of the cookie right now. Okay, you need 1 2/3 cup of all-purpose flour. Okay, so I said 1 2/3 cup. So I'm using, there's my third. 1, 2. I've been baking all day, so my stuff, half of my stuff is dirty. So I'm down to the last recipe of the day today. Okay, 1 teaspoon of baking soda. So I'm just using an Aldi brand baking soda, nothing fancy. All right, now we get into the fun spices. There's 4 spices in this recipe. Got a different weird angle. So first we have ground ginger. Whoops, that's that one. Ground ginger. So we want 2 teaspoons of that. Oh, and this is a brand new one that I just got. So let me get that top off. Okay, so 2 teaspoons of this. Okay, 1, 2. Okay, 1 1/2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon. Okay, there's my half. I'm getting to the bottom of this. I use a lot of cinnamon, so. Okay. I'm gonna just pour that in because I didn't have that much left. Okay, so 1 1/2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon of ground nutmeg. So I've got the organic ground nutmeg. It doesn't have to be organic. Depends on what you like. That's probably all I could find at the grocery store. And 1/4 teaspoon of ground cloves. Now, can you imagine with all of these smells? This smells good before I don't even have it baking yet. Okay. Cloves are just so good. Okay, then we have 3/4 cup of salted melted butter. So I melted that in the microwave, and I use salted, so I do not add salt on top of that to my recipe. 1 cup of light or dark brown sugar, whatever you have, packed. Okay. This is basically dump it all in the bowl. 1/4 cup of sugar. That's why I recommend using the hand mixer. Your arm is going to hurt, but it's probably good exercise. 1 egg, and of course I forgot the egg, so I'm going to talk to you while I go get my egg over there. Like I said, this is the last recipe of the day, so I'm unprepared. All right, 1 egg. Put that in. Okay, now the secret ingredient, and I'm extremely picky about my molasses. Okay, so I'm gonna wipe my hands off. All right, so you're gonna use 1/4 cup of unsulfured or dark molasses. Don't use a blackstrap. You have to use Grandma's brand or this brand, Briar Rabbit molasses, full flavor. This is what makes the recipe. You can use, I'll link this one and the Grandma's. They're both really good. And you need 1/4 cup. So I got a 1/2 cup here. I'm gonna fill it halfway. This Briar Rabbit is the stuff I have always used. I use it for my ginger snaps. And I have a really good recipe for ginger snaps. You'll have to look that one up too. Just do a search on my website or on my YouTube page for ginger snaps. Oh, you're going to love them. They're so good. And my sugar cookies. Actually, all my cookies are really good. I don't put them on here unless they're good ahead of time. All right, so we're going to mix that up. We're going to do this for 2 minutes. So I kind of clean up my mess. So this makes a dark cookie because of the molasses. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put them in the refrigerator, put the dough in the refrigerator for 45 minutes. And then I'm going to use a cookie scooper and I'm going to bake them. I'll come back on here when I get them baked. And then we're going to make the icing for the top. They're kind of like the old-fashioned grandma oatmeal cookies, but they have the gingerbread, ginger snap base to them. Super, super good. Okay, I'm just going to whip that pretty good. These mixers are powerful. Okay, so this is what it looks like. I'm going to make a mess because I'm trying to show you what it looks like. So pull that out. So this is what the dough looks like that. Okay, I'm going to put that in the refrigerator for 40 minutes before they are baked. And I have a pie in the oven right now because that was the previous recipe, the apple cranberry pie. And I'm not kidding. It's like the best. But anyway, next up is baking them. And then we will ice them after that. Okay, we are going to make the topping right now for the iced gingerbread oatmeal cookies. Okay, so I'm going to show you what these look like right out of the oven. Well, not right out, otherwise I wouldn't be touching this pan. So they look like this. I mean, they are nice cookies. Okay, so I had to flatten them a little bit. So like when they come out of the oven and you need flat cookies, you just kind of whack them on the counter like that, and then they will like pluff down. Just, that's a little tip for people. All right, so now we're gonna make the topping. So you need a big spoon or a small whisk. I'm gonna use a spoon. And we're going to do, you need confectioners powdered sugar. I keep mine in a Ziploc because this stuff is absolutely, makes a huge mess. So I keep mine in a Ziploc. So you need 1.5 cups. And I'm using okay, so you don't want to use a really rounded bowl. Hold on, let me just get this 1.5 cups. Seems like a lot, but powdered sugar gets down real fast. Forgot what I was talking about. Oh yeah, your bowl, you want like one that has, where you can actually dip the cookies in, not like a really big cereal bowl where it's hard to get the cookie flat in there. Okay, so I want to do that. And then we're going to add 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla, which is not very much. And then we're going to add 1 tablespoon of milk at a time because we want this frosting to be pretty thick so it sticks to the cookies. Okay, so mix this up. And you are going to see that I'm going to make a mess on the counter. But I do have a washcloth, so we can get that cleaned up. Okay, now you can see I'm mixing this slowly because I want the frosting to be thick. When I get it to the right consistency, I'm going to add a pinch of cinnamon and a pinch of ground ginger. Just like literally a pinch. Okay, so this is perfect. This is the consistency I want. Again, like I said, I know I'm making a mess. Because I want it to stick to the cookie. So it's the consistency like that. Okay, so that I've got the perfect consistency of what I would like. So I'm going to add a pinch of cinnamon. And like, I'm not kidding when I say a pinch, just a pinch. And I am sticking my fingers in there. Yes, I am. And a pinch of ginger. Okay, I'm going to mix that in. Okay, I'm going to taste it just to make sure it tastes okay. Perfect. We can do that in our home kitchen. I'm not serving these to anybody outside of people I know, so I can lick my finger. All right, so we got that cleaned up. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take the cookie. Oh, by the way, I got these new washcloths at Walmart. I absolutely love them. They're Better Homes and Gardens. They have some really nice stuff there. All right, so now take your cookie pan. Sorry if you hear dogs squealing in the background. They're in the garage. They're eating their food, but they think that they're missing out on food in my kitchen. Dogs. Okay, so then take the cookie like this. Dip it nice and light, like that. And that's what you're going to dip all of the cookies. And then you're going to put them right back on the sheet and let it harden. Look how pretty those are. Gosh. Sometimes I'm just so proud of how things turn out. Like I said, these are a fantastic recipe. That one I maybe got a little thick, but that's okay. So I ended up with, this recipe ended up with 2 pans of cookies. So if you're making these for like a large cookie exchange, you might want to double the recipe. These will never make it that far. So now, let's talk about freezing these cookies. These cookies you can freeze. You can actually freeze the dough too, if you didn't want to cook them all at once, if you wanted to just prepare ahead of time. Or you can freeze the actual cookie frosted, which is what I'm actually probably going to do because literally we cannot eat them all. Okay, so I got one pan done. Another pan coming over. Make sure the cookies are completely cooled when you do this too. Oh my gosh. Old Granny, if you guys watch if you subscribe to my channel or see a lot of stuff, okay, so I do food and dogs. I'm a big Labrador lover. Actually, I would like to probably breed Labradors, but I have to get to a different area where I have, where I can have more than 2 dogs. We have 2 dogs and I'd like to have 4, but I'm a new empty nester and I don't want to like overdo it to start with here. So we have 2 black labs, Old Granny and Sam Dog. Old Granny's real name is Solo, but we call her Old Granny because she's old and has all these little antics that she does. So I'm just about getting more out of the powdered sugar. And they love to be in the kitchen, and if you can hear them squealing because they're in the garage eating their supper and they know that I'm recording a video, probably with food, and they do not like to be left out. So this was just enough powdered sugar for these cookies. So perfect. All right, and so that is my cookie recipe. And I also got this bowl at Walmart. This is, okay, I love Walmart. Like, they have some of the nicest stuff, but I'll link this bowl too. It is, well, I can't flip it over, I guess, but I'll link all this stuff in the post. But all right, and so that is our iced gingerbread oatmeal cookies. I'm going to let these harden on there, and they'll be ready to serve. And I hope you enjoyed this recipe, and stick around for more.